Hello and welcome back to Misery Loves Mandy, where comedians talk about miserable moments and whether or not they made them into jokes. This week's guest is Justine Marino. I was so happy to finally have her on. She's amazing. You have to watch all of her stuff. Check out her live shows. We talked about being bad at hand jobs, all of the Blake and Justine drama. So if you're confused what's going on, we will update you. And a time that she stripped down at the doctor's too early. So make sure to like and subscribe, share with a friend, and you have to check out the Patreon where we talk farts and much more. You don't want to miss it. So thank you for watching and enjoy the episode. $5 years. That's a long time to be doing a podcast. You're in it.
Yeah, there have been different iterations. Like initially I started it with Justin Martindale and we did for a couple of years, and then he wanted to do his own. So then I kept doing it and would have a guest. And then in like September, October of last year, I decided to turn it into a 90210 rewatch podcast. So my listeners,
Yeah, do what you love.
Exactly. That's what I was like. All I want to do is talk about 90210. So
there you go.
Yeah. So now I do it with Daniel Webb, and it's a 90210 podcast.
That's fun. Daniel Webb's hilarious.
He's so great. I love him.
So that's good. Yeah, and then it keeps it fresh too.
Well, I'm interested again, because before I was just kind of talking about pop culture stories, and also like, which I love, but I just got kind of bored like doing that every week.
And then you see it in your eyes just start getting dead.
Yes, exactly. And also like, I don't like hardcore talking shit about people because I'm afraid if I meet them and like,
for sure.
Like, Ayo, the girl from The Bear, Ayo,
yes.
Yeah, she was on SNL with J-Lo, and this podcast she had done 12 years ago came back to bite her in the ass. That is literally my worst nightmare. So like, I love all the pop culture. Like, I'm so deep in the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively trial. Like, I could be a lawyer at this point with the amount of TikTok law I've seen discussed about this. But I don't want to like say bad things about anyone. I'm too much of a pussy.
I feel the same way. I was doing another podcast for a little bit, and a few episodes we would talk about some pop culture things, and then I'm gonna do a solo episode a month on this podcast soon, and I'm figuring out like what segments I want. And I literally said to him earlier today, I want no pop culture because I don't want to talk bad about anyone. Also, we don't know them.
That's the thing also, because again, and Justin and I did his podcast last weekend, and we just finally addressed him leaving because everyone assumed that like I kicked him off the podcast, which like could not have been further from the truth. So that whole situation of like these parasocial relationships and these people who feel like they know you, and I love that, but like there's a lot they don't know, and there's a lot we don't know about even Blake and Justin Baldoni, you know? And so we always just need to remember that we don't know the full story ever.
For sure. I had I feel like I've probably talked about this again on here, but it was such a good life, like learning lesson to where once I had someone on my podcast and he made me a compliment to me, like, you'll be like Ellen. And I said, I don't want to be like Ellen. And then he goes, Ellen's great. Like, I've worked with Ellen a bunch. Like, and I just felt so, I had to really check myself. Yeah. Because you just spew things that other people say, and it's immature and stupid. But it takes a lot of maturity to learn to not just and the shit talking.
Totally. But also, shit talking can be very funny. Like, there is a place for it. I am just too scared to do it myself. But, like, I support whatever anyone wants to do to get there. But
I'll listen to it
and I'll talk about it off camera, my real feelings. But like, once it's on camera and on the internet, it never goes away.
I don't want to think about that at night. What did I say?
Again, the J-Lo, like the SNL thing, because she, Ayo. Does anyone know how to pronounce? Is it Ayo or
it's Ayo,
Okay,
yeah.
Ayo had gone on this podcast and was like, she doesn't sing, blah blah. Which like she wasn't saying anything untrue, but because J-Lo famously, I believe, Ashanti sang a bunch of her, a lot of her songs, like or some of the either the verses or the hook. I don't know. But she wasn't saying anything, but it still wasn't favorable to J-Lo. And so for that to come and like bite her in the ass and to have to be face to face with her. So that's literally my J-Lo. I love you so much. Please always know that I love
J-Lo.
you. Fully support.
Love everyone I love everyone.
Everyone.
And then Nikki Glaser did the Taylor Swift thing and she had to come out about that.
Yes.
And I even remember watching the Taylor Swift documentary. They put the clip of Nikki saying that, and Nikki loves Taylor. Or you just say something because it just comes off.
Yes, exactly.
It's not all, you don't mean everything you say, which I don't know. I guess you should. I don't know.
Exactly. Like even now I'm like, oh, I just said she wasn't lying about her not singing. But that's like is common knowledge. A lot of people like know that she doesn't sing all the lyrics on her song. I believe that's common knowledge.
I don't think that's shit talking.
But also I can't sing. So like I would have Ashanti sing all my songs if I were a pop star.
For sure. They're making a movie on that band that my mom always tells me that the group that lip synced everything.
Milli Vanilli?
Milli Vanilli. They're making a movie on Milli Vanilli.
I want the Ashley Simpson story if we're going there.
Yes.
And just the climactic, going into the third act where she gets caught lip syncing and does that. Remember she did that weird jig? Like she got.
Remember the jig?
It is burned into my brain. It's like the track got messed up. Again, SNL. What is it with SNL?
Yeah, it's
like
weird.
Drama coming out. But it's revealed that she's lip singing. Like the track gets off and she just kind of goes and does this weird jig and is like, well, that's all, folks. Like,
oh, that's kind of amazing though that she did the jig.
She did the jig.
I don't know how I forgot that.
Did we find the jig there? Yep.
Oh my God.
Well, yep. There she goes in her skater
so
boy
funny.
outfit.
Literally last weekend I was watching the Timothée Chalamet episode of SNL. And then he's also doing the musical guest that week. So he sang. And I was like, well, I know it's real because Ashley Simpson.
Yes.
I was like, this
totally.
is for sure him singing.
Yes. Well, and he sang some Bob Dylan. Yeah, that's cool.
He actually did good.
Yeah, I saw the movie. I thought he was good.
The movie, I was just telling him, I love watching true stories because I'm like, I see their struggle and they do it. And then I'm like, I'm so motivated. This one just felt like a hipster comic that showed up to an open mic and got a headlining.
I was just telling someone that yesterday.
Yeah.
Someone who, I don't want to brag, like coming too hard with a flex.
Hot.
But I am an AMC Stubbs A-list member.
Oh.
So I see 3 movies a week, baby.
Whoa.
And I was discussing with another A-list member. He was like, what did you think of A Complete Unknown? And I said the exact same thing. I go, it just kind of feels like he was like broke and went to an open mic and became wildly famous and all these hot women were throwing themselves at. Like there's no struggle.
Zero struggle.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that was his real story.
Yeah.
There had to be more to it.
It had to be.
There's no way. And I'm like, if so, I'm going to show up to a hospital until I get famous.
Me too. Is there anyone sick in the hospital that we could go run our jokes by?
But like sick to where like super sick, but you're going to like live for a while.
Sure.
Because I need you for my C story.
Yes,
or whatever
absolutely.
That is.
Whatever that was. Also, I'm not like a huge Bob Dylan fan, but I did think Timothy did well because I feel like whenever I watch him, it feels like, oh, I'm watching Timothée Chalamet. And this I do feel like he really transformed.
Yeah, he did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
I just wish the story. When he was, what is it, who lives down there? How would I word that?
The guy who owns the building, Howard?
He was talking to people who are huge Bob Dylan and music fans, and they said they loved it because they already knew his story.
Got it.
And I'm like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like for people who watch Dune and love Dune if they read the book.
Yeah.
But I didn't read the book and I hated Dune.
Did you see the second one though?
No, because I couldn't understand the first one.
Okay, let me tell you. Because I fell asleep in the first one.
Yeah,
like,
same.
I went with my boyfriend because he loves the original. He loves the book. But we went, he was so excited about the first one, but then there was like barely any Zendaya. There was no Florence Pugh. But the second one, oh honey, it is all Zendaya. So much Flo Pugh. It was great. So I actually saw the second one 3 times in the theater.
What?
And
It was good.
It was great.
But will I understand what's happening?
You don't even really need to. I don't think it's so
Here's what I'm
so
going to tell you to
grand.
do.
Yeah.
Go to one of those Nerd Writer YouTube channels. It's going to
Get a
give you the
recap?
30-minute cliff
Yes.
notes.
Yeah.
But it'll make it so much better because it's going to explain to you all the analogies of what's really going on.
Okay.
And how this is a metaphor of the 60s talking about... Like, they'll give you all of this depth to it. Then you'll be like, oh, that's what they're talking about. And you'll experience it differently.
Yes,
Okay.
Like
that
a nerd.
and take some like just a little bit of mushrooms, and
Okay.
it's just great. I went and I saw it in the Dolby Theater, which was just like insane
Yes.
sound. Like I was riding the worm in the sand with Timothy Chalamet. I was like, ooh.
So funny.
Literally went from falling asleep, hated the first one, so bored, to I saw the second one the third time by myself in the theater, just like alone on an afternoon on mushrooms.
I actually, going to the movies alone is one of my favorite solo activities.
Me too.
It's so nice.
It's the best.
You're like, I'm not talking to anybody anyways. I don't know. It just feels like,
I've got my shit together. I'm an independent woman. Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah. I love it. I personally love it.
oh yeah. I go to the movie theater across from the Laugh Factory. On Tuesdays, they have $7 movies.
Oh, nice.
So that's my favorite.
I live very close to that one, and they used to be an AMC. So
Oh,
I I was
no.
heartbroken when it changed.
That's a bummer.
I know, because now I have to go all the way to the Grove.
Yep, and then parking. Oh, I've got a Grove parking trick for
Oh,
you.
tell me.
If anyone knows the Grove, if I go to see a movie there, I go to leave and they're charging me up the ass, and
Yeah.
I go, "What the hell? I paid $25 for my movie."
Yeah.
So what you do, when I was waiting and trying to talk to someone to complain about this, this should be my weekly
Yeah.
wiener. I always try to get someone in hopes that they'll just let me through and get annoyed with me.
Yeah. That's what I do too.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it never works.
Yep.
I think it worked once, and I'm just holding on to that dream.
Yeah.
I got out of one once it was so expensive, and the guy was wearing a Miami Dolphins hat, and it was out here in LA, and I started singing the Miami Dolphins theme song to him,
Uh-huh.
and my mom was in the car with me, so we're both singing the Dolphins theme song, and he goes, you're free to go
Oh
through.
my
And I was like,
God.
yeah.
Well,
But
yeah.
sorry, but the Grove.
Yes, the
Okay.
Grove. Well, real quick to talk about the parking, what's crazy is you'll get it validated and it'll be $5, but if you go over the 4 hours,
Yes.
they charge you the whole amount as if you had no validation.
I'm glad you made that point clear, because that was one thing that's really confusing about it. Because you usually go and you get dinner and see the movie.
Yeah.
You're going over your 4 hours.
Yeah,
I said the 8 hours of traffic to get to the Grove.
Yeah,
You bet your ass I'm going to
I'm
be there.
so
a while.
dead.
I'm going to
there.
enjoy the ambience and the Frank Sinatra
And
playing by the fountain.
Yes, come on. So that's the trickery. I'm 5 minutes over the 4 hours, and like, oh, it's the full price ticket. That's where they got me.
It's really shady, if
It's
you ask me.
super shady.
Yeah.
So as I'm waiting to complain, I see this car tail this other car to get out. Like a car paid and they ran right behind them, and it didn't shut on it. Then I saw another car doing it. I pulled out, got on the next car that was going to pay, went right behind. Everyone does it there.
Really?
Now every time I go, I watch everyone just wait for someone and ride through for free.
I have a friend who does that, who she's constantly like, I'm white trash, this is what I do. But it sounds like everyone is going that route.
Yeah.
I'll have to try. I'm seeing a movie there later today. I'll have to try it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, the Grove is safe. They don't take a picture, and it doesn't slam your car.
Oh,
So
good.
you're good to do it there. I don't know other
good.
places.
Okay, good.
For a second, I thought you were going to tell her to memorize all 32 fight songs of the NFL so she could sing them to
Just
each.
in case.
Yeah.
Just in
what's
case.
your
That's
team?
the tip.
That's the
Like,
second
I'd
tip.
rather just pay the $20. That seems like a lot of work.
Oh, all right. Wait, this is not a movie podcast. Last thing though, what movie are you gonna see? I wanted to say what movie you're gonna see. Then I'm like, stop talking about movies.
No, movies are my favorite thing, so I'll always steer the conversation in that direction. I'm seeing Companion tonight, which is a horror movie from the people who did Barbarian.
Okay.
With one of the girls from Yellow Jackets.
Okay. I've seen this billboard everywhere.
Yeah, it looks cool and from the studio that brought you The Notebook. So The
Okay.
Notebook meets Barbarian.
Ooh, I'm in.
I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I might have seen the preview. I love seeing weird ones.
Oh yeah, I'll see literally anything. I will see.
It's fun to see the variety. The last one I saw was the Pamela Anderson one.
Oh
I
yeah.
just saw that.
I was a little disappointed by that one.
I didn't love it. I didn't hate it.
It was just like vibes,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It
But
was just-
always rooting for Pamela. I'm always in her corner.
She did great.
Yeah.
But did you get sick at all? The camera was shaking where it almost vomited.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then again, it was just kind of like slow and vibey. And yeah, I wanted just a little more.
Because I was like, oh, it hasn't been nominated for anything before I saw it. So I was like, I wonder how it's going to be. And then I was like, it was good, but it's not nominated.
Yeah. I don't think so either. Nora was my favorite movie last year. I've seen it 7 times. So.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
Okay,
I loved it.
I'll see it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what movies do you like?
Yeah, exactly. Welcome back to the movie podcast.
Movies are so fun to talk about, though, because you get so passionate.
Yeah.
I talked about The Substance like 10 times already on my podcast.
I love The Substance. I had a Substance-themed Halloween party last year.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
I dressed up as a fitness girl, and people thought I was The Substance, and I was like, why didn't I lean in? What was I thinking?
Oh, I was
right there.
I was that.
It's the best costume.
It's great, yeah.
I'll do it next year. I'll still have the outfit.
It'll still be good. And my boyfriend did the Dennis Quaid. He bought a jacket and had shrimp all over it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a fun themed party because there's so many ways.
It was fun.
Did anyone play the monster version? Because that's hard to do.
No one did the monster, but then we went to the parade in WeHo and there were some monsters down there.
Good.
Both from The Substance and not.
I'm still me, guys.
Yes. It's me.
That's so funny. Okay. So I'm gonna use that as my weekly wiener. Although I have some weak wieners, but do you have something that's been bugging you more than it should have?
Okay, bugging me more than it should have. I mean, this Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni case is crazy to me.
Okay, I know I've studied it, but not as much as you. I've looked at okay. First of all, I have been trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
So, and I'm like, I just see things. So I've like watched so many TikToks, but I didn't see the thing that came out recently. A tape came out like proving something.
Oh, so there was like, oh girl, there's so much. It's like every day we get a new update. I was in the shower listening to a Perez Hilton TikTok. I was like, I'm unwell. This has taken a really dark turn.
Okay, wait, let's do a quick recap for the listeners.
Yes.
Of what's going down.
Okay, so Justin Baldoni is an actor and director. He got the rights to this book, It Ends With Us, written by Colleen Hoover. He was set to direct it. His company was producing it. Blake Lively came on board. And the long and the short of it is now people are thinking that she attempted to kind of take over the movie. From the jump, she was redoing all the wardrobe, which I don't know if you've seen any of the videos of people making fun of.
There's this one guy that does the best Blake Lively impression.
The mouth on that guy. The eyes and the mouth.
Yeah.
He's so good. And he just has like 6 beanies on top of each other and like a car. Like she's wearing all this Carhartt. The character's supposed to be. Also, I love we're like, well, we won't talk about any more movies.
No, this is a weekly wiener. We're allowed.
Okay, we're allowed. Okay. No, but the character's supposed to be this like, this guy.
Yes, him.
Is the mouth.
What's his name so we can give him a shout out?
Yeah, let's give him a shout out because he is so genius, I think, truly.
Michael Pavano.
I love it. He is so good. All of his videos, he's incredible. But this is basically what the wardrobe was. It was like all this Carhartt mixed with like very high-end designer, like huge brands. She had like Christian Louboutins and she's supposed to be like a young girl who just opened her own flower shop.
Yeah, she wouldn't be buying that at all.
She
so
would
that
not.
was the outfits threw me off in the beginning.
That was just the beginning, baby. That was the beginning of the end.
So this makes sense that this was all her.
Yeah, so she came in and kind of, I think, allegedly revamped everything and was like, no, I want to go this direction. And then, so people from the jump who are really into the book were like, what is this wardrobe?
Okay.
And then, it all kind of came from the premiere last year when Justin Baldoni was very clearly not taking any photographs with any of the rest of the cast. They did the carpet separately. They were not even like photographed separately on the carpet. Like they were not there, I believe, at the same time at all. So everyone was kind of like, what's going on? Then everyone saw that the cast, everyone in the cast, I think except Hassan at the time, had unfollowed Justin Baldoni. So that's when the
lots of red flags.
Yes. So that's when the sleuths came out and we're like, what's going on?
This is gonna be good.
This is juicy. Exactly. And so then they were like, what did he do? And then people were very turned off by the way Blake was promoting the movie. She was kind of treating it like a rom-com. Like she was like, grab your florals and your girls.
I watched a lot of the promos.
Yeah, so you know the promos. It is a movie about domestic violence. So I think people did not love the lighthearted approach she was taking it. It was all about the floral dresses she was wearing to the premieres, and she was talking about her hair care line that she had just launched, and her booze line, and I think her husband's booze line. Like all this stuff, people were very turned off, and then they started digging, as they do when the internet turns on you. It really goes full force. And I think they just brought all these old interviews of her just being a little snarky, sarcastic. I'm sure you saw the one with the interviewer who said, congrats on your little bump. And she said pretty snarkily back, congrats on your little bump.
I did not see
Yeah,
that
so that
one.
was kind of the big one that people were like, yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so and then it kind of just went quiet and went away for like a month or two. And then this New York Times article comes out in December, the Friday before Christmas week. And it basically, she accused him of sexual harassment, which like once you throw that around, like you can't.
That's a big one.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
WME drops him, like all this stuff happens. People come out publicly to support her. But then like a month later, because we're like, oh shit, were we, everyone's like, were we all on the wrong side? We thought she was to blame. It's really been this flip flop back and forth.
Yeah, I thought she's the good one. From what I've gathered, I thought that she was the good one.
Well, now it's coming out. It's like very great. It's gotten so big, and it's all these TikTok investigators that are really doing like the Lord's work here. But they are, and people who worked on the show are anonymously tipping them off and stuff, or who worked on the movie. But basically, this week, the latest is that they've put together some dates based on how photos were saved with the New York Times that makes it very clear that the story was sent to the New York Times way before her complaint was even filed.
Okay.
He came back, and Justin is suing her, and the New York Times, and I believe Ryan Reynolds, for like $400 million.
Jeez.
And his lawyer is very aggressive. He's out here talking about it, defending his client. For every complaint she filed, they have a receipt for. And they're like, actually, this is the full context of this. And it does, as of now, of course, we won't know the full story till it goes to court. But as of now, it does look like some things were twisted to kind of make him look really bad. Like there was one thing where it was like, oh, he said she looked hot. He told her to take off her jacket because it would be hot, and then it comes out, oh, he was talking about the temperature in the bar because it was in the middle of summer with no AC. So I think there were just a few instances of that, and then now it looks like the New York Times knew about it way before the lawsuit was even filed. Like, it's crazy, you guys. It's insane.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I read the things that she wrote was that they were making her uncomfortable, like saying something about like showing nudes of the wife. There's just like, or the baby.
Yeah, I think like, but again, because to me, I was like, he would have to be really unwell mentally to like show her porn, do all this stuff that was being alleged that he did without some sort of rapport that made him feel comfortable enough to do that.
Not normal.
Yeah, like, so I'm like, I think, and you can tell from the text, it seemed very friendly. It seemed very like, there was this thing, oh, there was no intimacy coordinator. It turns out that she didn't want to meet with the intimacy coordinator. Like, there's just all this stuff that's now coming out, and now her team's trying to put a gag order on his team, and they're all like, hey bitch, you started this.
Oh my God.
So it really is crazy, and the trial is not till February 2026.
What?
So I don't know how we're gonna keep this energy up for a whole year, but
there's gonna be a movie about it before the court case even comes out.
I know, it's crazy.
So do we believe that Deadpool parody was definitely Justin Baldoni?
Yes, without a doubt. So this is the other thing that's very crazy. So basically, Deadpool came out. There was this character in it called Nice Pool that no one really thought twice about. I thought it was a funny character when I saw the movie, but now that this is all happening, it's very clear that Nice Pool is clearly making fun of Justin Baldoni. He has a man bun. He references profiting off of the feminist movement with a podcast. Justin has a feminist-leaning podcast. And then the craziest thing to me is that Nice Pool gets killed by Lady Deadpool, who is played by Blake Lively.
Oh my
in front
God.
of a flower shop.
What?
Isn't that crazy?
There's no way that's just a coincidence.
No, exactly. He was clearly trolling him.
Yeah.
So I'm very curious how this is all gonna unfold.
That is wild.
But again, the last thing I heard was that there might be a smoking gun on her side that we all don't know about. But honestly, I don't know, why would they not have just released it at this point? So I'm curious. Again, I'm hesitant to join any side.
Yeah.
Because
we don't have all the details yet.
We don't know everything,
Yeah.
as we've talked about at the beginning. We don't know everything. But as of now, I think he looks a little bit less guilty than she does.
All right. So
according to the court of public opinion.
wait a whole year.
Yeah.
According to TikTok
Yeah, exactly.
investigators.
According to TikTok investigators.
Who I do believe.
I believe all TikTok investigators.
That's crazy. And I think the most upsetting part about all of this, well, first, I love reading, but I didn't read this book because my best friend is a faster reader than I, and she told me not to read it. She said it wasn't worth it, but it wasn't worth the hype. But so I didn't read the book. Then I watched the movie. I knew everything was going on, and I was like, let's just put it aside for a second. And I loved the movie.
I liked the movie too.
Oh, when
it did
he
well.
freaking at that. Oh, when he puts his head down at the restaurant.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I know. I liked it. It was a good movie.
It was so good. So now I think the wiener of it all is because of their freaking mess. Is there going to be no sequel?
You're right. You know what? I think it would be very difficult for them to have a sequel because that's the other thing. There's a clause. I think Ryan Reynolds allegedly tried to buy the rights back from Justin Baldoni and he refused. And there's a clause in the agreement that says Colleen Hoover can get the rights back if there's some sort of if he's accused of sexual harassment or if he's found guilty. So it does kind of look like it's all a ploy to get the rights back so that they can make the sequel. But I just want the sequel. So
that's what I'm saying. I just want the sequel.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, if all this was going on, Blake Lively and Justin, right? And Justin's chemistry was so good.
It was incredible.
I was like, how is this?
Well, a lot of people are like, were there feelings that they caught that it made it kind of turn ugly?
I've only hated somebody I really like. If not, I'm pretty fucking indifferent about you.
Exactly.
Like, I was like, that is the best acting I have ever seen.
You can feel the chemistry.
Oh, I felt it.
Yeah.
And with that, just the beginning scene, I was watching with my mom and we were both like, holy shit.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah. No, it's good.
It's really good.
Yeah, it is good.
So
it's like elevated Lifetime.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's like cinematic Lifetime, and I love it.
And I'm all for it.
Me too. Also, I love Lifetime. That's not a dig.
Me too. I would watch it all, but this is nice.
Yeah.
They did it well.
Yeah, they did.
So, okay, what would be the best case scenario for the sequel?
Fuck. I mean, I think, you know what? I think that they should have to, after putting us through all this, they should have to make a sequel together for us. That's what the judge should rule, is that they have to give us a sequel. No one gets awarded any money. They're like, you just have to make a sequel for the fans.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
We had to deal with your drama.
Exactly.
Now give us what we want.
Exactly.
I think I'm going to read the second book because I can't wait this long.
Yeah.
And
No.
just figure out what happens next. For now. And while picturing their beautiful faces in Carhartt outfits.
Yes. She's wearing like this like gorgeous dress and like a Carhartt jacket over it.
I know, to the party before they fucked.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on?
Yeah, I didn't know. And then I was like, I'm so bad at fashion. I'm trying so hard to get better at it and learning things from TikTok. But I was like, is this what I should be wearing?
No, it's not. No, TikTok will tell you that's not what you should be. That's not what anyone should be wearing.
And then I'm like, I guess she could just pull off anything.
I used to think she could pull off anything, but TikTok has now told me otherwise. But yeah, but I guess she pulled stuff. It's all from her own closet and Gigi Hadid's closet.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fun fact.
So just like
any couture one of one stuff on your movie. What? So weird.
So weird. Huh. Isn't that weird?
That's terrible.
It's crazy.
That's not normal at all, right?
No, because no character would have that. That's not real world.
Well, I just mean pull their own. How often does that happen where they will wear their own clothes in a movie?
That happens, but it wouldn't be that type of stuff. I tell you to wear some of your jeans.
Yeah.
And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like on commercials and stuff. Like I've brought you know, or like super low budget stuff, obviously, but like it's not like you're pulling from a Hadid sister's closet, you know?
No.
Yeah.
I'd like to pull from her closet.
I would love Gigi. I'm here. If you have any hand-me-downs, I'm much shorter than you, but I'll take them.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It'll be worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, that was fun.
Yeah. So does that count as the
Yeah,
wiener?
it's a great
great
wiener.
Great.
But yeah, I just want the second one so bad.
Yeah.
There was just one book that I read and the sequel never got made. This is going to drive me crazy if I don't think about it. Can you look up Kate Hudson and Jim from The Office?
Oh,
I know his name, but you know.
Krasinski. John Krasinski.
Yeah, John Krasinski. And Something Borrowed. One of my favorite rom-coms. It was a book and the sequel never got made.
What?
Yes. And the second book was so good.
Well, the judge should also order that sequel to be made as part of it.
Bring me in the courtroom.
Yes.
Oh, it's such a bummer. Okay, so that was a good.
Okay, good.
That felt good.
Good. That felt good to get that out.
Yeah. Okay.
A weekly rom-com podcast.
Jeez, if that was my dream, it would be a rom-com podcast.
Always.
What's your favorite rom-com? I'm just gonna keep saying a movie question, then I'll say this is the last movie thing.
It's so hard. I love The Holiday.
That's a good one.
And also, I'm sorry, I think While You Were Sleeping is one of the most underrated rom-coms.
That's a good one.
Criminally underrated. Sandra Bullock, fucking what's his name? Bill Pullman.
I would not have said his name.
No, Bill Pullman's always at the tip of my tongue. For all the Gen Z listeners out there.
It's so funny.
But yeah, I love that movie. So yeah,
that's good.
What about you?
Mine is definitely How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh, that one's great.
Love that one. Any Kate Hudson. Well, also Sandra Bullock. One of my original ones favorites was 2 Weeks Notice.
Oh, 2 Weeks
Sandra
Notice is
Bullock.
great. Yeah,
That's a good one.
this was the first rom-com I saw her in. So I love, and I was like, it's a dark brunette. I
Right?
feel so seen.
It's always a blonde.
Yes.
Always a blonde as the lead, at least. The brunette's the funny best friend.
Yes, exactly.
Because we're brunette. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no. And even in this, though, she's presented as like a mousy, like train.
Same in 2 Weeks
Yeah,
Notice.
exactly.
She always play in Miss Congeniality.
Yeah,
all of her movies.
Brunettes are never presented as like hot forward. They're always like kind of like mousy that become hot, you know?
It's the take the glasses off character.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so weird. That
Every guy who's watching this is like, right, she just took off her glasses and suddenly, yeah, it's like
I have a whole bit about that in my stand-up about how like that was all you needed to do in the 90s. Now you need all this like filler and Botox. It's so much harder to be hot these days. But back then it was just take off the glasses. Freddie Prinze Jr. is on his way to get you.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's so true. Now it's a lot of upkeep, a lot of money.
A lot of money.
That's the problem.
Yep.
But now they're starting, I feel like it was really bad, and now they're starting to do like filler and everything so good.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, this is getting even more dangerous
Yeah.
because it looks so
good. Yeah.
At least before we're like, oh, they had work. Now
Yeah.
we're like, man, they're really pretty. Is
Yeah.
that what's
Yeah,
happening?
Yeah, what is that? Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a new doctor in town.
Yeah, give me his name.
Give me his name, please.
Just get me on the wait list.
You've
Yeah.
just now seen the people who had the bad work, who've now had the work fixed to her back, and you're
Lin-
like, oh, wow.
Lindsay, Demi, Donatella Versace. Who is their doctor?
Yeah, that's who I want.
Yes.
That's who I want
Yep.
for sure.
Dr. Fix It.
Doctor Fix It.
Wow. It's good for our future. I feel
Yeah.
like when we really need the big stuff,
Yeah.
it'll be fixed by then.
Totally. Right now I'm just doing bangs. That's my thing.
Bangs are great. I was just telling him, I was like, I wish I could pull off bangs.
Really? You can pull off.
Oh,
No.
I'll show you a picture later.
See, I swore off bangs for a really long time. Like, I have a headshot that haunted me with bad bangs from when I was 24 that people were using till like last year probably.
Oh.
But I just had to figure out like the right. You just need the, right
thickness,
bangs,
the right.
because I have very thick hair and a small forehead, so it can look too like dark. But
Yeah.
I think it's a little. I think
No, your
I figured
bangs
it
are
out.
good.
Thank you
And Jessica Michelle Singleton look like you should have always had bangs.
I had her on my podcast.
Did you guys talk about bangs?
It was all about bangs. The whole episode was about bangs.
That's so funny.
The greatest bangs in pop culture. The Bang Gang.
Oh, Nikki Bond has great bangs.
She has good bangs too. A lot of good bangs in comedy. Bangs in comedy. Again, it's like quirky friend energy.
It
you
is,
know?
but I can't. I'll show you off camera. I'll add a picture for you guys to see how awful. But I think they were done wrong.
They need to be done correctly.
It was thick straight across.
No. That's what mine were.
Yeah.
And then this woman like flat ironed them so they looked like the bottom of a broom. It was really bad. No, it was bad.
Oh, hair is scary.
Hair is scary.
I also bought clip-on bangs to try. Didn't work.
No?
No, I want to try again.
You got to try again. It's all about the placement with the clip-ons. And you can cut them too.
That's a good idea.
And also, you don't ever want to cut straight across. You want to point cut.
Yeah.
So that it's not, because straight across, you'll get that really heavy blunt line that we don't want.
We don't want that. Yeah, I'm going to get a new pair of clip-on. Those clip-ons ended up being a bush in a sketch I played. So we got our money's worth.
Perfect.
But I don't want to put them on my head anymore.
Also, I'm very curious about bangs that can double as a bush.
Yeah.
Also known as a merkin for filmmakers out there.
Yeah, it is a merkin.
I worked with this really cool special effects makeup artist. I did this little bit on Dancing with the Stars for Halloween a couple years ago, and I was a mummy. But he was like this crazy special effects guy, and he said that merkins are actually so much more common than we all know, because everyone's who does nudity, especially in period pieces, they're all wearing merkins.
That's true. A lot of bushes in there. And with laser hair removal, you can't wait to grow that.
No, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We should get in the merkin game.
We should. I think we should start a merkin line. And they could be bangs too.
Yeah, you can have, they double.
They double. If you want to be bald down there, you can have bangs,
yes.
you know?
That is something, there's so many things. Why is celebrity they're just going for the alcohol?
Yeah.
There's so many other avenues you can go for.
I think clip and bangs / merkin is an untapped market that we need to hit.
I think we should see if Drew Barrymore would partner with us in this merkin
Drew
game.
would love this.
Yeah.
Drew would be all over this. If I know Drew, and I think I do.
Yeah, I know her.
Yeah,
I watch
like
Hollywood Squares.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Etsy, $110 for a good
Oh my
merkin.
God.
These are colorful. That one actually looks very lifelike.
The bottom left or the top right?
The top right.
Yeah, and it has a good fade.
The fade is very natural.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
Wow, these Etsy merkin
Who
artists
knew?
are...
I think we have more competition than we thought.
I know.
I'm a little nervous now. Pursuing comedy and the merkin game is going to get pretty stressful.
It's going to get a little stressful.
Whew. Well, as long as Drew's a part of it.
As long as Drew's on board.
We'll be fine.
We will be fine. Yep.
Okay, so I want to get into this. My favorite part and the whole reason of the podcast is the embarrassing stories or miserable stories.
Yeah.
You obviously don't have to say the joke.
Oh.
It's unless you want to.
No. Yeah.
But it's always fun to just hear like how the moments that turn into jokes, like what happened to you, type of thing.
So I have this hand job joke.
Yeah. We all need one.
We all need a hand job joke that I've done in a special before. That it was like my closer for a really long time, and it was about this hand job that first of all, I'm bad at a hand job. Like, what am I even doing here? I'm not going to add any new pizzazz to this. But I was dating a guy, and I was going to give him a hand job, and the only lubricant we had available was aloe vera.
Oh my God.
Which evaporates really quickly.
I'm from Florida. I know all about
Very
aloe.
alcohol based.
Yes, it's like the worst. So I was just like I'm already at a disadvantage because I'm horrible at hand jobs. And then I also have this really not ideal lubricant I'm like, so I'm giving bad hand job. And then like every 30 seconds, I'm like, I need more aloe vera because it's just completely evaporating. We stopped seeing each other shortly after that.
Oh no. Well, at least his dick wasn't sunburnt.
No, it wasn't sunburnt, and it was a good dick. I don't think we did any permanent damage, but that was a pretty embarrassing moment for me. Yeah. I was just apologizing through the whole thing. I was like, I'm so sorry. Can I get some more aloe vera for this horrible hand job that's never going to end?
Did he finish?
I don't think so. Not with the hand job, you know?
Yeah. Hand jobs, I've never been confident in them.
I think if you're confident in a hand job, you're lying to yourself.
Yeah. Or maybe you were like a virgin for a long time and you had to figure it out.
That's true. That's a good point. Mm-hmm.
But otherwise.
That wasn't me. That was not me.
Not me either.
Yeah.
Didn't have to do hand jobs ever, but I wanted him. What are these?
Yeah, exactly. I went to Catholic school, so I just like blew everyone before. I was like, I'll just go for that.
Yeah.
You know,
that does the job.
That was my workaround before I was impure, you know?
Yes. I was trying to work on a hand job joke for a while. And then
like it's my masterpiece. I'm really trying to get it down.
And then Nikki, I love watching specials and I hate watching specials.
Mm.
And I know we shouldn't care because every comic does the same joke in their own way. But then Nikki Glazer had a joke that was so similar to my hand job joke that I just
really?
stopped doing
What
it.
was it? What was the joke?
I think it was that it was pretty much what you were just saying. It was like that I was insecure with wait, what was it? I thought it was that I like insecure with hand jobs, so I just did blowjobs. But now that I'm saying it, you just said that, and I'm like, is that what it was? This was like 5 years ago, so I'm trying to remember. But insecure. Oh man, I want to pull up my own old notebook so bad. It would just stem from being insecure about hand jobs. And then whatever her angle was the angle I was going for. And she did it so good that I was like, yeah, we're going to just leave that there.
Yeah. We'll let her take that.
Yeah. And it wasn't like a finished joke. It was just something I was working on.
Sure.
So it wasn't like trashing something I've created.
Totally. Yeah, I've always heard that like whoever does it on TV first wins, you know?
Yeah.
You just kind of got to.
But now
it's tough because of social media.
You see everything. And I've also noticed a lot lately is like for example, Dan Soder and Shane Gillis are great friends. And so it looks like online. I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know what's
They're
really.
buddies.
Yeah.
But they have like a few jokes that are the same and done differently. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I think everyone's understanding more that we all are the same mindsets and living the same life.
Totally. That's what people like. There's a period where people would like accuse some big comedians of stealing and stuff. And I just thinking about like, I know I've definitely written jokes that I've seen other people do almost exactly.
It happens a lot.
That I know they didn't steal it. You know what I mean? And I know I didn't steal it. It's just that kind of the way your brain works.
Exactly.
And if you have a similar life experience as someone like you, me, Nikki, we're all girls who have given a hand job, you know, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Like, of course, our brains will be wired to think that way. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then now I feel like I've tried to, with my writing, and I don't know if you do the same, is like not hold back anymore. Or like think something like, you'll think something is too hacky and then overdone, and then you'll see like Bill Burr do it and do a great job on it. And you're like, I didn't do that topic because I thought it was too simple.
Yeah.
But you're like, stop limiting yourself from anything.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think you just have to be open to whatever's funny.
Yeah.
You know?
But we just get so insecure, at least I do, about like other comics. They're like, oh, they're doing that. You just hear so much shit talking, you get so in your head.
Someone put, I have this joke, it's old, but it's like, it's so dumb. And I've seen other people like offhandedly say stuff like it on podcasts, but it's like hand job, blow job. This is a job. I should get paid. Like it's this whole thing. Someone was like, George Carlin was doing this material years ago. I'm like, George Carlin was doing like
a blowjob joke?
It literally goes into like, oh, ladies, we should unionize. And it goes into this whole thing about like female rights with a blowjob and a hand job. And I'm like, I think I missed that special where he did that. But I think people online will just hear like one similar word and they're so eager to be like, oh, you did something wrong and I'm here to call it out.
Yeah,
you know?
they love doing that. When you get comments on your joke, like, and sometimes on Instagram or Facebook, or probably Facebook, they're more mean there.
Oh, yeah.
But they'll be like, oh, like this joke was blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't even know who that is.
Exactly.
So, and then Matt just started doing, it's kind of old now, but he started doing a joke where he like goes like this for like eating a girl out. Because we have a stool, we have a mic, we have an arm.
Yeah.
And then they're
don't
like,
have a lot.
We don't have a lot to work with. And they're like, that's
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Yep.
And he's like, I never even saw. So we Googled it because we never saw that.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh my God, he does that. But like, so can we not now go like this?
Yeah, that's what's crazy.
What?
It's like, so is it just, but I think with the internet, you see the same joke over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I see the same dog memes constantly, like the exact, but I like every single one of them. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I think now we're just in this age where like everything's being done all the time.
Everything.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're like, let me just focus on how I feel about things and keep it that simple.
Totally.
So,
Yep.
So have you had any jokes, like a moment that you weren't able to make into a joke? These are usually, I feel like with people, it's usually like doctor stuff or like,
oh no, I'll
like
say
that.
the doctor. Well, actually, this is really embarrassing.
Oh no.
I don't know if I've ever told this story on a podcast.
Are you comfortable saying it?
I am, because it's so hilarious, and I feel like I maybe tried to work it in as a joke, but I'm a hypochondriac.
Okay.
So I do a lot of doctor stuff on stage, but I like anything even remotely wrong, I'm like, I'll go see my doctor.
And that's how Matt is. I go to urgent care with him all the time.
Yeah, no, I'm like in with a specialist. Like, I'm insane. And so I had a bump that was like between my thigh and like my butt cheek, like right on that crease there. And it had like gone away and then came back, and I was like, oh my God, I have herpes. I have something. I have some disease that and I'm going to die. That's the whole thing. Hypochondriac. I'm always going to die. So I'm like, I got to get in right away. So I go to the doctor and I go in there, and I go to doctors all the time. I will show like my tits and ass and anything to anyone who's even vaguely in the medical profession. Like, if you like, I'll be at Costco getting an eye exam. I'll be like, can you do a breast exam real quick just to put me at ease? But I'm in there, I take off my pants, I get fully undressed, and I'm like ready. I'm sitting on the table, and the doctor comes in, and he's like, what are you doing? Because I'm just sitting there with my pants off, and he's like, oh God. He starts shielding his eyes. And I'm like, what? I have this bump. He goes, I have to ask you if you want a chaperone. Like, so he leaves. He goes, put your pants back on.
Oh my God.
So he leaves. And then he comes back in with a chaperone, and we do it the correct way.
Oh.
And I ask for consent to take my pants off. And he looks, and he's like, it's a fucking, he doesn't say fucking, but he's like, it's an ingrown hair. Like, so all of that for like a dumb ingrown hair. And that's when I started doing laser immediately after that.
Yeah.
I was like, no more waxing ingrown hairs. Yeah.
That's
But yeah.
so much there. First, I got laser in that exact spot because of ingrown hair.
Yes.
And then they try to miss that. I'm like, no.
That's the one.
That's the spot. That is crazy though. How have you not talked about this on stage?
I know. Well, what's crazy is I have actually a follow-up story. When I was getting laser, I'm Italian. I'm Sicilian.
Me too.
Yeah,
so hairy.
I mean, my arms used to look like Robin Williams' arms.
I always say go like this. This was my arms growing up.
Yeah, literally. Oh my God. See, I love it. Well, Martino.
I know.
Off by one letter. But I go in and I go to Sev Laser. What's up? Love Sev. But the girl doing it, she was like, do you want me to really go for it? I was like, fucking get it out of there.
Yeah.
And so she does it so hard that like it looked like hives. Like it was like all these bumps, like bubbled up. And I was like, oh shit. And bubbling sounds more disgusting than it was. It looked like hives, but I was like, what is this? And I full on let this woman take a picture of it and send it to the owner of Sev to be like, and she was like, oh, it's fine, it'll calm down. But it was just crazy. I'm just like, yeah, send it wherever. What's wrong with me? Send it to whoever needs to. So this woman still probably has a picture of my vagina on her phone.
God. And she was like, that's normal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You
so
got to do the heavy settings for the thicker hair, if you want it gone. You got to go for it.
It's gone though, baby.
Yeah.
It's gone.
That's the best money I've spent in my entire life.
Me too.
Hands down.
Me too.
I got to start do some follow-ups though. It's been a while. I got to, you're supposed to go every.
Yeah, you're supposed to go. Like my legs, you can see I have like 2 long hairs and that's it.
Yeah, mine are patchy too, but I go for a while, but it's time for got to go the winter laser. While I'm pale.
Yes.
That story though, wait, we got.
Sorry, yeah. I went way too far into the next story.
There was a lot there.
There was a lot.
That is gotta be one of the most embarrassing stories I've ever heard. I would have died.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's crazy is there's a lot of like, hey, I'm just ready to show anyone my vagina. I think that's the moral of the story. I
got pretty comfortable at doctors. I think I've talked about this before. I didn't talk about this for a long time. But I had a bump on my butt, and then I went, my butthole. Oh. And I went, and I was like, you know what? It's just a doctor. You got this. You're an adult. Like, pumped myself up. It's just a butthole. I show it. And I always say this wrong. A hemorrhoid is what a lot of people have, right?
Yes.
What is the other one I say? I always said it wrong. But so I'm like, just go. And then he doesn't want to look at it. And he goes, and he's really sassy, which makes this fun. And he goes, warts! Yells it.
The doctor?
The doctor. To where the receptionist and after goes, we heard words you have. And I'm like, is this really happening right now?
Oh my God.
And I was like... He hands me a a pamphlet, and I'm like, I don't have warts. I know I don't because I get tested and I haven't been with anybody since that time.
Right.
So then I didn't talk to one person about it, not my mom, not anyone. And I just stood with my stupid butthole at home for like 3 months, depressed or a while. And then I was on like, okay, we got to go see other doctors.
Right.
I go to 3 other doctors. Everyone's up in my butthole. Everyone said it was just a hemorrhoid. But I was like, I can't just trust the next doctor. I got to go. So then I just got my butthole just checked by so many that it doesn't matter anymore. You're like, here we go.
Yeah, you're like immune to butthole embarrassment. Yeah.
So then when I got laser, I was like, this or nothing.
Yeah. Wait, so was it just a hemorrhoid?
Yes.
And he said, ew, warts?
He go, no, warts. Like yelled and backed up. And I barely even looked because I thought he would look, and he had me on my side. And then like I was like, do you want me to like, and then he was like, and he just yelled. And I was like, this is, he ended up getting fired.
Oh, good.
And then I told them my story.
Good.
No, I told them my story after he got fired.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, where is Dr. blah, 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 ruining my life.
Yeah.
But I was like, you just like put me through like a life-changing moment.
Well, that's also like, I feel the number one thing a doctor should not do. Like doctors see a lot of crazy shit, I'm sure, and you have to keep a cool face.
What?
You've got to keep a poker face, even if it's a wart.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's something I don't think I could turn a joke into, that it's like a doctor thing, which maybe I could, but like, yeah, that was awful.
Yeah, that sounds horrible. I'm so sorry. But at least he wasn't like, what are you? I felt like, am I a predator? I like,
yours is like, yours is hilarious.
Like my kink. I like go to doctor's office and like just take my pants off.
Yeah, yours looked like you wanted him to see you naked.
And if you could have seen this doctor, I'll just say, like, he was not that he wasn't like hot.
You don't want him
doctor.
to see you naked.
No, he wasn't. It wasn't like I was trying to like fuck the doctor,
That's awful.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let's do plugs, and then we'll do a quick little thing for Patreon.
Okay, cool.
Okay, what would you like to plug?
I can plug my podcast, Glitter and Garbage into the Spelling Verse. It's a 90210 rewatch podcast, as I said, available on all platforms. It's very fun. If you love 90210, rewatch it with us. It's insane. I am now convinced the show is a comedy because it's continuity, it's just bananas. It's so fun. And then I have monthly shows that I run at the Improv and the Comedy Store. I don't know when this one's coming out.
3 weeks?
Oh, okay. So my improv show will be done, but look for Comedy Crush at the Improv, which I run with Avery Pearson, and then I help Josh Adam Myers. We produce 2 shows at the Comedy Store monthly, the Goddamn Comedy Jam and Shimmy Shimmy Ya. The next ones are February 16th and 17th. So
Perfect.
yeah.
This will be out before that.
Awesome.
And all the links will be below, so you have many opportunities to go see her.
Thank
so go do
you.
it. All right, and go to Patreon right now. All right, bye.